Okay, well, it's a couple minutes before 8. We are going to get started at 8 o'clock. Okay, microphone seems to be working okay. Okay, if anybody's out there and you can just put in the chat, if you can hear us, we will get started in a minute. Testing 1, 2. Okay, microphone seems to be working okay. Okay, well, it is 8 o'clock now, so we are going to get started. Welcome to our first ever live video chat. For those of you who don't know us, I am Joe, and this is my wife, Susan, and we quit our jobs and sold our house, pretty much sold everything, and we're traveling full time. So we've been doing periodic updates from time to time. And yeah, it's been a while because we've been busy. So you have some of the things we've been up to?
We've been to a couple NASCAR races. We've been to 3 cruises. And they were from Nassau and the Bahamas. We went to the Chili Bowl. And we went to the Hickory Motor Speedway just this past weekend.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, the Chili Bowl is indoor car racing. It's essentially where they have animal auctions and different events in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is one of the biggest midget car races in the country, and it's a huge deal to go to. It's an event. This was our second year, and Hickory Speedway is a legendary track. It's what do they call it? The most famous short track in the world, and it's launched the careers of many NASCAR things. So it's been our bucket list to go to. So on our way down here to Florida, it did. So anyway, feel free to put questions or anything in the chat. We're here to answer your questions. We have some of the most commonly answered questions that we've been asked over, our travels, whether it's friends or people we meet. But we want to hear what you have to say on there. So what do we have upcoming plans?
This week we're going on a 14-day cruise to Portugal, and it's going to end up in Barcelona, Spain.
Okay. And yeah, thanks for that question, Rachel. We will get to that when we talk about our drama on cars, which I promised some people in the preview drama on this. So yeah, and then what do we have planned for later this year?
In July, we're going to Chicagoland, Iowa, Colorado,
The Dakotas,
Minnesota, Wisconsin for the Road America NASCAR race. And then in August, we're going to do the Toastmasters convention. And after that, we're going to do an Alaska cruise.
Okay. And then From there, we do have a Panama Canal cruise. So remember to like and subscribe to this video. With, any questions, we're going to be bringing you along with this, and give us feedback on our content. We're still trying to figure out a lot of what we're doing. And then to answer the question about the car. So for those of you who don't know, we have been traveling full time, and we don't have an RV. We have been driving our 2014 Subaru, and the car has been holding on really well until recently. We started with about 90,000 miles. We're right now, and we've traveled from New Jersey out to California and back to Florida, and then back to Oklahoma, back to Florida, and up the East Coast. And other than routine oil changes, that type of thing, it's performed extremely well. Well, a couple weeks ago when we were at Darlington Speedway, we have a dash cam, which the suction cup stopped sucking to the window. So it fell, turned on the hazard lights, and then so the hazard lights were on for anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. We got to the car and it wouldn't start. Have to say a lot about human nature. We didn't have one person helped us. We had 3 people helping us, and I'm sure there would have been more, but others walked by and they saw we were well taken care of. So we were able to get it jumped. Then no problems the rest of the weekend. No problems the rest of the week. We got to Helen, Georgia, where we were for our daughter who was getting married in the area. Go to start the car, nothing. Wouldn't start. So we were able to get it jump started. And I called AAA hoping that they would be able to bring out a new battery. They were not able to do that day. Next day, the same person from AAA who had jump started me before called and said, "You starting problems." They were able to bring out a battery. So they replaced the battery right in the parking lot of the hotel. And, no problems since then. Car ran fine. We drove up to Pennsylvania, back down. Then yesterday, on our way from North Carolina into where we're at now, Port Canaveral, all of a sudden, as soon as we passed Daytona Beach, which was about 60 miles from the hotel, the dashboard lights up with all kinds of check engine lights, that type of thing. Well, it turns out it's a warning thing for the transmission. The car still ran fine. We were able to make it to our hotel. I ran out this morning to check to a transmission shop because the code means it can be anything from the fluid is low to you need a new transmission. Unfortunately, none of the transmission shops in this area deal with Subarus, so we need to take it to a dealership. The nearest dealership is between a half hour and an hour away. And we're leaving Thursday on a cruise to Spain for 40-some days. They couldn't hold, and I called, and they couldn't hold the car for more than 30 days. So we were going to leave it at a friend's house in the Tampa area for free. But instead, we decided we're just going to park it here at the port, pay the fee, and then we'll take it to a dealership after we get back. That was the most logical solution. So when we get back, we may be buying a new car. I'm hoping it's something small, but luckily with our schedule, we have a couple weeks to get this figured out, because the dealership said it can take anywhere from a couple days to 2 weeks to get it repaired. So that's our drama. I mean, it's been pretty good since then. Other than that, and hopefully this will be minor, but we may be getting a new car sooner rather than later. Other questions we've had are, how does gas prices affect your travels? It was nice, and when we started this in September, gas prices, especially as we traveled the country, weren't bad. We did hit $5 gallon gas in the desert between Las Vegas and California, but that was expected. We knew that that was going to be pricey. Then, but coming back, we went through, I want to say Amarillo, Texas. It was somewhere up in northern Texas. And, it was less than $2 a gallon. With the pricing, we don't do a lot of driving because we've adapted where we're spending more time in certain places. So there's days where we don't drive. So has it been pleasant? No, but it's not been crippling. It's probably adding $150 a month to our budget for gasoline. But the fact that we're going over to Spain for 6 weeks, we won't be driving. We won't be
using the car.
we won't be using the car. It'll be sitting here on that. So that's good. The other thing I've done is I'm pretty much signing up for any of the rewards clubs that give us discounted price. Speedway, Shell, Loves. There's a couple others. So if I pull in there, I'm typing my phone number in there. Just the other day, we stopped at Speedway and they were running a promotion where I got 35 cents off of a gallon. So filling up 12 gallons, that's almost $4 or around $4. So that's one of the things we're doing. We're sharing our personal information on that and so signing up for rewards clubs wherever we can. As far as other questions are, how's our health and what are we doing about health insurance? We covered this on earlier updates. So if you haven't watched them, you can go back and watch them. But right now, we're on Sue's COBRA program, which we have until the end of this year. So that we're going to have to figure out what we're doing. Probably have to go to Spain and look at. We do have some options on that. But that is going to be a primary concern because, as we've addressed before, Sue is a cancer survivor, so she has to go to the doctors regularly. And you just went when we were just back in Philadelphia recently, right?
Yes.
And everything good?
Yes. To go back in 1 year.
Yeah. So so things are moving along on it. And just another question: to save money on the cruises, etc. Are there any other ways to save money? The cruises, if you do things right, we've actually, gone cheap on cruises because we cruise regularly. The location of the cabin doesn't really matter because we've had nice rooms, we've had some not so nice rooms, but we're really going for the cruise. So we let the cruise line choose our cabin, which saves, a couple $100 to $1,000 per cruise. Second, we're starting to do inside cabins, which means we don't have a window on that. So that's going to be taking some getting used to, but after a while, it's nice having a balcony, but it's really not worth the added expense on that. Other thing is on Royal Caribbean, we just reached diamond level, which means we get 4 free drinks a day. Not that we were big drinkers, but the 4 free drinks a day, that should suffice throughout. Excuse me. So we're trying to save money where we can. Also, the fact is we can go on cruises when they're cheapest. We're not going to be cruising really in the summer, except for the Alaska cruise, because you don't want to go to Alaska in the winter. But for the most part, we're going during the off-peak times, and that is really when things are cheaper. Example is Icon of the Seas, which we just got off last month. We were originally supposed to go in January, and looking at the pricing, it was about $2,000 to $3,000 cheaper for us to go in March than in January. So that made sense. So we're cutting down where we can on that. Also, we're not because we don't have any place to store it. We're not buying any souvenirs. Like most times when you go away, it's like, oh, that would be nice for the house, or this would be nice for there. We really don't buy souvenirs. If we're buying souvenirs, it's one, magnets, which are small, and we're leaving them in the storage locker, or two, t-shirts that we just wear repeatedly. If you watch our videos, you'll notice that we have the same outfit on regularly because living out of a suitcase, we have a limited wardrobe where we cycle things through. So if we're buying a shirt for $30, okay, and we just had a med come in, so thank you for joining us, and thanks for your well wishes. I appreciate it. But so we're getting our money's worth out of our clothes. The other thing is you have to look at something and go, how often am I going to wear this? Is this really worth buying? Because I had to replace my sweatshirts, and it's really been, I struggle with, I have a chili bowl one. It's like, okay, but I've worn it like 50 times. So that's really nice on there. And then let's see, next question is, what have we liked and what didn't we like? Do you have any favorite memories of this trip?
My favorite parts are the cruises. You can basically go anywhere on a ship and do whatever you want.
Okay.
Any time of the day, or most bars are open till like maybe like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'll asleep at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
We're not up that late.
So did you have any? Which was your favorite cruise out of? Because since we've been on 4 cruises since we started this, Navigator of the Seas, which was the Mexican Riviera, Celebrity Constellation, which was the Western Caribbean, Carnival Conquest, which was Bahamas, and Icon of the Seas, which was St. Thomas and St. Martin. Did you have a favorite?
I like them all, but the one I liked the most was the Celebrity Constellation because it's more upscale than the Royal Caribbean, and I thought the food was better.
Yeah. Okay. Another question. What is your favorite mode of traveling? Car, plane, train, or cruise? I think you just answered that. Yeah, cruising's definitely, and cruising's really, well, we're going to Spain on a cruise ship. That's not really a mode of travel for us. That's more of a destination. So I do like cruising. The car, it's nice because you can get out pretty much any time that you want. We haven't done any train trips yet. We've done a couple of train excursions where we go on a train for a day. We took one from
Ireland to Belfast.
Yeah, and then on this trip, we took one from Williams, Arizona, up to the Grand Canyon, which was really nice. It was a really nice way to get to the Grand Canyon. It was an all day. Left at like 9 in the morning. You came back at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Had a guided tour of the Grand Canyon. So I highly recommend that. Over the next year, we do want to plan some train travel. We are in Spain going to be
take like a 6-hour ferry.
Yeah, we're pretty much covering all the modes of transportation there because we're going to take the ship to Barcelona. From there, we're going to fly to Ibiza. From there, we're going to take a ferry to Valencia, and from there, we're going to take a train to Seville. So we're going to be hitting all of those. So we'll definitely be getting back on that question. And then another question is, of all the places you visited, where did you spend more time? I think that was Disney.
I don't think so.
Yeah. After our cruises and between our cruises, we spent a lot of time in the Orlando Disney World area. We had an annual pass, and that's another way we save money. We paid the annual pass, which was a little over $3,000, but over the course of a couple months, we must have been there 30 days or more. And the annual pass includes parking, admission to the park. So we spent a lot of time there. And the nice thing about having the annual pass, if you've been to Disney on vacation for 7 days, even 2 weeks, you want to pack as much as you can into the process of it, just because you want to get your money's worth. When you have an annual pass and you're planning to be there for an extended period of time, you can go for a couple hours and feel you got your money's worth. When we get there, when it opened, when it started to get packed, we would just leave, head back to the apartment or hotel we were staying in. Uh, the last day we went to Epcot, and they were having their flower show. Uh, they were having their flower show, and we just wandered around. We also have, and I'm putting up a video in the next couple of days on the photo pass. So we got a bunch of photos in different locations, and we just walked around. I think we only went on one ride that day, and it was a nice day, beautiful day, walking around the park. Um, and thanks for the tip. I'm going to write that down. Santa Maria del Mar. Okay. Next question is, do you ever get tired of eating out? Do you pack some food that is portable to save money? Yes. We have got tired. It was nice when we first started, and going to restaurants that maybe weren't in the Philadelphia area or we haven't been to in a while, just trying them out. And that was very nice, but it does get old very quickly. Not only is it pricey, it is also gets repetitive. Even like really good food, different places, it does get repetitive. So what we've been trying to do is stay in. We're Marriott Bonvoy members. We try and stay in Residence Inn or Town Place Suites, which have kitchens, whether it's just a stove or a stove and an oven. So we're in places we like to, find the closest Aldi, because you can get things relatively cheap there, or a grocery store, and pick up different foods on that. And wind up cooking things here rather than having to eat out. Also, a number of the hotels have grills. So we actually bought a little, it's like $12 grill set, which has tongs, spatula, and a fork on that. Sorry, I'm trying to read the questions and answer the questions at the same time. But so we've been grilling, like, so we can pick up steak, hamburgers, and then we also have a little hot bag. It's that we can heat up food on. So when we go out to a restaurant, generally we get 2 or 3 meals out of it. So like we just ran to Subway because we needed something quick today. They had a buy one get one free for their footlongs. So we ate half of it today. We're gonna have the other half for lunch, uh, and then the next couple of weeks is taken care of because we're going to be on the cruise ship. How much did you spend on fuel? Yeah, I talked about that a few minutes ago, but I'll repeat. So we spend, it's a couple $100s a month. We've slowed down our pace of travel. So there's sometimes where we don't even touch the car. We'll drive to a destination, and then the driving will be very limited. And I do have, try and have sign up for fuel reward savings. Speedway, I save 35 cents on it. Usually once or twice a month, we'll get things. So I do try and save that type of money on that. Okay. So we jumped to the subject. Is there anything you didn't like on the trips? Any places we went that you go, yeah, I wouldn't go there?
Maybe the football game that we went to in Arizona.
Yeah, you really didn't like that, did
Yeah.
you? Yeah. So earlier on this trip, we stopped in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I'm always looking when we're going places what's around there. And it's like the Northern Arizona University. It's right there in Flagstaff. Uh, it was about a mile from our hotel. It was definitely walking distance. Tickets were cheap, so we went. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but Sue did not. It was just so much downtime with the football. It'd be like they were playing, had two or three plays, and then they'd have a 2 minute timeout. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get her to another football game. Generally, she's a pretty good sport about going to different sports. Like last weekend or 2 weeks ago, we went up to Allentown. We caught a Iron Pigs game and a Phantoms game uh, on that. So that was entertaining. And then you're always for going to baseball, hockey, basketball, and definitely auto racing. One of the things we want to take a look at when we go to Spain is motorbike racing is really big there. So I want to check out and see if we're going to be near any tracks or any are accessible. But so that I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's the small things. Like when we were in Gallup, New Mexico, early on this trip, uh, we got upgraded to a two-bedroom suite, and it overlooked railroad tracks. It was like we had a TV with railroad, and there were like anywhere from 4 to 6 trains an hour, all hours of the day, which that may drive some people crazy. We loved it. We got up and couldn't sleep in the middle of the night. So I sat in the living room and just looked out over it. And that is definitely a room I want to get again with that. As far as things we didn't like, I've liked pretty much everything we've done on this trip. A couple things maybe not again. Can't think of anything right now, but for the most part, it's been a really good experience. Have we tried anything new? Okay, I mean the two that come to mind are on a ship. I tried oysters for the first time, and they were actually pretty good. I tried raw oysters. Next time, I am going to try them cooked just to see if I like them any better. Um, the other thing, you okay with me telling the story? At the CBD? Okay. So, one of the things is we've never, tried any drugs whatsoever. Marijuana. But since marijuana CBD is pretty much legal everywhere, we, when in Mexico, we went into a dispensary and just said, just was honest with them and saying, this is where, we've never tried it before. And we tried some edibles. We got a couple peanut butter cups and we got some caramels. And we both tried the peanut butter cups. And, you were like, I felt a little something, pretty much like got a little buzz off of it, but nothing really that intense. You had it and you went for like 15 minutes. Oh, I feel fine. I feel fine. And then all of a sudden, you were struggling to walk. And I think that was the first time she ever tried it. And I have a feeling that's going to be the last time you ever try that. I did try some of the caramels, and again, it was like having, a small alcoholic drink. To show you how much I enjoyed it was I got a 10 pack of the caramels. I think I still have 6 of them left, and I did give one away. Question is, how long are we going to be in Barcelona? We're going to be in Barcelona roughly a week. We're going to spend, so I don't know if I listed the places we're going to be in Spain. So we're going to be in Barcelona, Ibiza, Valencia, Madrid, and Seville. We're going to spend more or less a week in each of those cities, except for Seville. I think that's only going to be 3 days. So part of the time is going to be sightseeing. Part of the time is going to be just relaxing, not go, and we're going to try, look at some day trips out of all of those cities. One of the things we're looking at in Barcelona is getting the city pass, where we can get 5 days of activities with that. And one of the activities includes a day trip up to Andorra, which is a separate country that's contained by Spain, and then also up into France right there. So that might be something we're looking at. But we were to Barcelona back in 2019 on a cruise. We spent a couple days before the cruise there, but we really didn't get to partake in much of the city. So it's definitely somewhere we want to go back to. And we want to make sure that we see the unfinished cathedral, which has been finished on that. Another question we get a lot is, how long are we going to be doing this? And that's something we don't know. That's something we don't know yet. We have the finances to cover 2 years of pretty much doing whatever we want without going into our nest egg on it. And a lot of it depends on A, if we keep enjoying it, B, if we can make a go of this channel and other ancillary income. So this is a good time to remind everybody, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel. Got the Magnets. Like us on Facebook and Instagram. We are telling more of our story, and that ties into the question, are you writing a journal as we go? We are keeping notes in ChatGTP, which is a good way to keep things organized on that, to keep it going. We are documenting everything on YouTube, and we're going to be doing, as we travel, we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're publishing videos regularly on tips on travel, but we also want to start telling our story, and we're going to get more comfortable with the editing process and being behind the camera.
And the Smooth Sailing Chronicles also.
And then also, we do have Smooth Sailing Chronicles on Facebook, which is
so cruise based.
Yes. So with that, so and so as far as they go, it's open ended. We have plans through the middle of next year, 2027. We're planning to do a cruise from Australia back to San Francisco. So sometime between now and then, we'll figure out what we're doing, and if we're enjoying this. Next question is, do you miss anything about having a true home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, we've become accustomed to this. There's certain things I miss. Like, there's times where I miss Alexa, the Amazon AI, where we could just say, Alexa, turn the lights on, and that type of thing. And then also, traveling, even though we're staying in Marriott's, there's a wide variety of television, whether it's the local channels. But being at home, knowing exactly what channel to do, setting up your DVR and everything. But other than that, it's actually nice not having a home, not having to worry about, do I have to cut the lawn? Does this need to be repaired? Does that need to be done? It's actually kind of nice living out of a hotel. There's certain nights that are worse than others. I mean, I think the worst times we have are the travel days. Having to pack the car, having to drive. We try and keep the drives manageable. 6 hours, 8 hours at the most. There's been a couple like long 12-hour days because they made sense to do. Like on my birthday, right around Thanksgiving, we drove 12 hours, but we were able to spend 2 hours or 2 nights at a hotel rather than stay at a hotel in between. So there are times where it makes sense. There's been a couple times where the travel between hotels was an hour, just because of logistics or pricing or that type of thing.
And even at home, it always seems like that something breaks every time we go on vacation.
Yeah, yeah. So that was, yeah, every time we went away. We'd come back and something was broken. We had to deal with it as soon as we got back. So yeah. Okay. Last couple questions are you glad you did this?
Yes. Okay. Really enjoying it. Yeah. Doing the stuff that we like, that we want to do, or that we like to do. Like we're going on more NASCAR races this year. We're gonna go to Homestead for the championship race this year.
Yeah, and then we're also, as you mentioned earlier, we're going to Chicagoland for the 4th of July. That's a track that was on the NASCAR circuit, and then it was replaced a couple years ago while it's back. And looking at our schedule, we were able to do it, and we're going to take advantage of that by going up and to Colorado for a couple things, and then through Dakotas, stop at Mount Rushmore, and we're going to actually knock five. I think if the count is five more states off of our list, so we are getting closer to that magic 50 number. And there's a couple more that we're going to hit later this year when we go out to Washington. I think the only one on the east that I'm missing is Vermont. So hopefully by sometime next year, 2028, we're going to hit all 50 states on that. And then, have you felt safe everywhere you went? Yeah, I haven't felt unsafe anywhere. I mean, we've been mostly good areas. We have been to some bigger cities, but having grown up in the Philadelphia area, we're always aware of our surroundings, and big cities in Spain. In Spain, the biggest crime there is pickpocketing and that type of thing. So we're going to be very aware of that type of surrounding. But I don't think we've been anywhere where we didn't feel safe. I'm not going to be walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning counting $100 bills, but we do use precautions uh, at that. So no, I haven't felt unsafe on that. And then I think the last question that I have is, how are we getting along?
I think we're getting along better now than we were before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean for the most part, we've been getting along really well. I mean, there are times when traveling with somebody, living with them 24/7, it can get a little much, especially when I tend to be a little annoying.
The share beds.
Yeah, yeah, having to share a bed. For those of you who don't know, we, for the last 10, 15 years before we sold the house, we had separate bedrooms, separate beds, and we loved it. We're one of those couples that it actually helped our marriage having separate bedrooms. Then after we sold the house, we moved into one bedroom apartment and had to share a queen size bed. That lasted about a month, and then I started sleeping on the couch. Uh, so then, no, so having to travel wherever possible, we do get two queen size beds. Like right now, behind us are two queen size beds. Sometimes, if the price differential is too much, we have to get a king size bed, which we survive, but somebody hogs the covers on that. But
Yeah.
we made that work. A couple times, we've been upgraded to the 2 bedroom suite, which was very nice. We backed our own separate bedrooms, and then we rented a place in the Disney World area that had our own separate beds. Excuse me, own separate bedrooms. So Sue gets the master suite with the nice big bed. I get the queen size. I get the twin bed designed for, like, the children. My bed had Mickey Mouse sheets on it, which I loved. But it works for us. So we are making this work, and it is bringing us closer together. Um, so if there's no other questions, I think we've made it about 40 minutes into this, and we hope to be doing this regularly. I know we only have a couple of people watching this live, but hopefully people will add to, once this goes on the YouTube, hopefully, more people will watch, and we probably do another live stream. Maybe we'll do it from Spain, be probably around 6 o'clock Eastern, which will be about 11 o'clock PM for us. So we'll have to make sure we take a nap that day. But if there's any questions, please reach out to us. Again, on Facebook, it's at Got the Magnets or at Smooth Sailing Chronicles. And be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, Got the Magnet, and send us a message. And I just want to thank the people who did join us. And I know we have a lot of people supporting us. So thank you very much.
Bye.